What cheer, y'all? Welcome back to Right at the Wire. Well, we're fresh from a fun-filled weekend at Saratoga. I'm still licking my wounds from that pick five. Kilwin killed my pick five and my pick three, but we had some good scores. Hopefully, you followed our advice with deterministic. That was a good one, and Sierra Leone came through in the Whitney as well, and a really nice effort. So anyway, we're going to divert our focus from Saratoga to one of my favorite racing days of the year, and that's the Arlington Million. It's run at Colonial Downs. Many of you remember the old Arlington Park in Chicago. It was a great day of racing. They had an awesome turf course and just stellar fields. A lot of great imports would come over, and it was a really fun day of turf racing. And they had a ton of other stakes as well. But it was just a really fun day. So this is kind of bittersweet because it sort of reminds you of those days. But it's nice that Churchill Downs did see fit to continue on the tradition. And at Colonial Downs, certainly no slouch. A really nice turf course, inner and outer. And so we'll start with the featured race, the Arlington Million. It's a grade one, 11th race on the card, running a mile and a quarter on the outer turf for 3-year-olds and up. And this is a field of what I would call the underachiever invitational. There's a lot of horses that hint at some good things, and sometimes they get there, but quite often they don't. And for that reason, it's a really good betting race, I would say, at the very least. The pace should be, if you look at the race shape, it's pretty straightforward. So we've got our confirmed front runner in Time Song, probably going to get some company from Runaway Storm and likely Cairo, with perhaps some attention from Vesting. Mystic Dan, we certainly don't know what they're going to do with him, how he's going to run, but the pace should be honest, nonetheless. Cairo will be right up there. He seems to be a horse who likes to be up amongst the leaders. So that what that should provide for is the pace will be honest. I think maybe a little on the slow side. None of them certainly are going to want to light the world on fire. So that may make it a tad challenging for some of the later runners, but I think that's where the firepower in this race is. We'll start talking about the ones we're going to pay attention to and use. Mystic Dan, your guess is as good as mine what they're going to do with this horse. Obviously, after the Stephen Foster, where he ran about as good a race as he can run, and he still finished fourth. And I think that was pretty much an indication that, a horse who got the trip exactly the way he wants, was in great form, ran well, and he still couldn't get into the trifecta in a grade one race. I think we know what Mystic Dan is. Now, can he handle the turf? I'm sure he can. I don't have any doubt that he... Is it a better surface for him than dirt? We don't know that. Kenny McPeak, not known a whole lot for his turf races. This, to me, looks as a move of desperation, trying to figure out something to do with this horse. I would personally prefer, if they were going to try turf, I would love to see him more of a mile. I think that's a way to utilize his speed a little better. A mile and a quarter, I know he won the Kentucky Derby, but as was shown, as he continued at longer distances, it's not something he necessarily wants. Maybe on turf he can get a little bit longer, but it just seems a peculiar spot. I would rather see this horse, again, 4-star Dave, I would have thrown him in there instead, but nonetheless, he's here. We're going to use him, but it's kind of the Harvey Pack maxim that, never bet on a horse who is doing something for the first time. So he remains a wild card in this race. Could he win it? Maybe. At 9-2, though, I think the price is a little prohibitive for me. I'm certainly going to use him, but it will be underneath. I can't bet him to win, not without a track record on turf. Cairo just is in pretty good form. Just ran in the Queen Anne at Royal Ascot and got a good third behind Rosalian and Docklands. Rosalian is one of the best milers in Europe. And so he's in good form, we can say that. Tends to like to run up amongst the leaders, but it is a bit of a wild card to, that how good this horse really is. I think it's safe to say he can run with these guys. I just don't know if he's a cut above. 7-2 seems a square price, and for that reason, we're certainly going to use him. Uh, there's an outside shot. He may try to wire this field. And it's certainly something you have to think about. But I think he's got enough company up front that that might be a tall order, particularly at 1.25 miles. But we're definitely going to use Cairo as a horse uh, who provides some possibilities. It's more, like I say, it's just more the unknowns with this one as opposed to uh, anything else. I mean, actually, the race shape tactically, he's going to have a little bit of an edge. So he's a horse certainly we want to pay attention to and use. And with an outside shot, with a win bet maybe if you're thinking that way. But he's a horse that definitely you have to keep in the mix. Grand Sonata is what I'm talking about here, the underachiever. The one that hints at it, but he never seems to get there. His last win at Kentucky Downs, he had the rail. He had basically a dream setup to get up in time. This horse always seems to be one of the other ones, right? It always seems to be issues that keep him from getting to where he wants to. However, in the UN last time, he did get a good second, but that was a race also that was chock full of underachievers, and redistricting being the chief among them, and somebody had to win the race, and he did, and Grand Sonata got second. So at least he's in good form, and for that reason, I'll make it my second choice, and also because he offers probably the best value at 8-1 of any of the horses in here. Integration is my pick primarily because he's a horse for the course. He's 3 out of 4 and with a second, so he's 100% in the money, and it's clearly a track that he likes. He did win the Secretariat here at 1 mile. This is another one that is kind of hard to trust, but you certainly know the talent is there. It's just a question of whether or not he's going to put it all together. I mean, if I have to hang my hat on something here, the fact that he loves Colonial is it, and so I think he'll be in good position late, and then it'll be just a question of whether he can close the deal, which isn't always what he does. But in this field, in this instance, I think he can get the job done, and so we'll take Integration. Fort Washington did not have a very good race last time. This is a horse as you guys know, I've never really been a big fan of. He always seems to be his own worst enemy. If you look at the running lines, the last one says left lead. You also see that lead a couple back as well. That maybe speaks to the mental acuity of this horse. Had a little bit of prosperity, won a couple races in a row, but he's just really hard to trust. And at 4-1, I just don't like the price, particularly after that last effort. So we'll use him. He can certainly get into the money, but he's hard for me to take on top. So we'll look at our wagering strategy. We're going to go with Grand Sonata as the value bet to win. The value bet. Stress that. But Integration is our primary win selection. So we will do 8-7, 7-8 for exactas with those two, Integration and Grand Sonata. Then we'll do an exacta key box with 8 on top with 1 and 5 as kind of a saver. And then we're not going to mess around a whole lot. Trifecta, we're going to keep it real simple. 8 on top with 1, 5, 6, 7, and let the chips fall where they may. This is a very good betting race. It's the anchor to what looks to be a pretty good card. And we'll have a pick 5 posting as well. It's always fun with the pick 5. We have 2 turf sprints to start it. So before we get into the graded stakes. So it should be a lot of fun at Colonial Downs on Saturday. Hope our analysis helps you with your own wagering strategy. I wish you the best of luck as always. And certainly if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe. And thanks to all of you who continue to grow the community. We will have our full card selections for Saratoga available on the website. And we will have some daily stakes plays as well for the spa, so we're not going to forget about it completely. And Travers is coming up in a couple of weeks, so we'll continue next week with our Saratoga focus. And as always, we'll try to get some Del Mar in there, time permitting as well. So, plenty of content on the way from Right at the Wire. That's it from here. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.